Marshall, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Harriet Tubman, Dolores Huerta, Lucy Stone, Cesar Chavez, Medgar Evers, civil rights leaders, all of them, women and people of color.
No, I think it's always very important to look at this through moral and spiritual lens. See, brother, I had met Brother Harvey, and he supported Goldwater in '64. He's a Jewish brother from Bayshore. He underwent a change and transformation. He was murdered, organized hatred against precious gay brothers and lesbian sisters, and trans, and black folk, and brown folk, and Jews, and Arabs, and Muslims, and white folk. All human beings can be hated. And we've got to put a stop to the cycle of any form of hatred. And Moscone was also assassinated. The mayor was assassinated the same day, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a supervisor who had voted against him who killed him, and then he committed suicide after he left jail. That's a level of spiritual decay back then that we still have to come to terms with today. So when I look at those, when I see Harriet Tubman, I say, oh my God, Harriet Tubman's too good to be on any U.S. ship anyway, tell you the truth. But I mean, we won't get into that right now.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, Harriet Tubman. Talk about warrior ethos.
Absolutely.
Gun-toting Harriet. You know, I'm a gun person.
I mean,
I love my guns.
But come on. I mean, what are we doing here? Is the idea just that if you are a woman, if you are a person of color in American history, you don't get remembered or recorded on a ship, but if you are a Confederate traitor to this country, you do. I mean, Donald Trump, back in 2017, said it was sad to see the history and culture of our great country being ripped apart with the removal of our beautiful statues and monuments. You can't change history, but you can learn from it. Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson. I mean, that's worth defending, but not Harriet Tubman, Thurgood Marshall, Medgar Evers.
Medgar Evers, Harriet Tubman, I think their names should stay on the ships. I mean, these were incredible Americans who withstood insurmountable odds. I mean, certainly things that, hell, I certainly couldn't imagine today, Abby, in the modern sense. And I would argue, you know, thinking about the warrior ethos, particularly Harriet Tubman, I mean, this is someone who I think really embodies what you would want in a warrior, someone with a level of courage and magnanimity. You talked about this once before, Doc, a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And so I would certainly think she would be someone who would instill the sense of pride and fearlessness you would want in your warriors. I'm not exactly sure why the secretary is making this decision. I know he says he wants to move in a different direction, but those three individuals in particular, I think we should leave their names on the ships.
But is this really what we want our Secretary of Defense to be focused on right now? Don't we want him to be focused on the strength of our military, keeping people safe, not someone's sexual orientation? I mean, this is the job of the Secretary of Defense, is to make sure that we have a strong military, not spend his time trying to figure out what is going to appease the far right or Donald Trump. And this is the problem with Hegseth. And I think that from the beginning, he has shown that he is not qualified for this job. He does not know how to do his job. And time after time after time, again, we continue to see that he has no idea what this job is about, and he cannot lead the Department of Defense. And so I think it's a real question about why is he spending his time doing this?
It's 3 days into Pride Month. And clearly a signal is being sent to the LGBTQ community, but particularly on this issue of gay rights, which we had a conversation on the show about this yesterday, about the erosion of support for gay rights among conservatives. This seems to be a very clear signal that they want to double down on that. And I think the question, to Xochitl's point, is why? Why is this a priority for the defense secretary?
Well, I mean, let's not forget the Republicans had the first transgender speaker at a national conference in 2016.
Would they do that today?
President Trump, I think she'd probably be invited to the White House.
You think so?
President Trump.
A lot of people don't want to talk about this subject, but it obviously needs to be talked about. These despicable people. First, let me start with the Germans, people in Germany, modern day Germany. People in Germany are decent enough to not go around putting up statues of Hitler and other Nazis, even though there's probably less than 10,000. And I'm probably, I'm being very, very nice with that number. Jews left in Germany. Very few Jews left in Germany. Let's go with that. But with that, There are very few Jews in Germany. The German people are still decent enough to know not to put up despicable people on monuments and statues, names on schools, and names on great buildings, government buildings. But here in this country, we still want to keep up these despicable Confederate names and names of other bigots and racists. That says something about us. We're lower than the Germans, you know. They have a lot better morality than we have, and a lot better decency than we have. And don't tell me it's not the same thing. Enslaving people and the way they treat those people, probably killed a good 50% of them. It's just as bad as what the Germans did to the Nazis. So that's despicable that we're willing to do that, and then to not honor people like Harriet Tubman and all those great people of color that did those things and were real warriors, unlike those bigots in the Confederacy who fought against this country. It's shameful. Even more reason why you shouldn't be supporting these despicable Republicans who are in power right now. These people are nothing but bigots. White nationalists, aka bigots. People are horrible. Christian nationalists. It's crazy that you put Christ in the same name with horrible racist bigots. Here we are. We're going backwards, people. We are going backwards. But that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think on this.